technical.
Yes.
Pero it is because of these elements that we are here and we are still surviving.
Exactly.
Tama ba?
Exactly. Ayan, so let's proceed po to our next presenter in General Biology 2, Basic Taxonomic Concepts and Principles, to be presented by Teacher Jocelyn J. Barnizo from Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School, Davao de Oro.
Please watch this.
Good day, grade 12 STEM learners, and to all the viewers of TV Eskwela, TEP-ED Davao de Oro. Welcome to another learning episode in General Biology 2. Have you ever wondered and observed that one of the most eminent quarantine activities is collecting plants? Is your mother, sister, lola, and lolo, or even you are already plantitos and plantitas? What are your plants at home? Can you identify and classify them? If your answer to the last question is yes, then you're in to this interesting topic. Taxonomy. Taxonomy is a branch of biology which identifies different organisms, classifies them into categories, and names them. Our topic is centered on the basic taxonomic concepts and principles. The title of today's lesson is Taxonomy, the Linnaean Way. This is your teacher, Jocelyn Handusay Barnizo of Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School, Integrated Senior High School, Nabunturan West District, welcomes you to another interesting and knowledge-filled learning of science concepts through TV Eskwela. This lesson is anchored on the most essential learning competencies in General Biology 2. It is under the learning competency, identify the unique distinctive characteristics of a specific taxon relative to the other taxa, with a code. After watching this video lesson, the learners should be able to: first, describe the Linnaean system of classification. Second, classify organisms into a hierarchy. And third, appreciate the significance of classifying organisms through a system. Can you guess what picture is it? Yes, it's a cactus. How about this one? You're correct. It's a succulent. A cactus is a succulent, but not all succulents are cacti. Huh? People often use the terms interchangeably, which is scientifically incorrect. Understanding the relation between the two organisms will help in properly distinguishing them and will aid in identification. Did you know that, according to Science Daily, a research organization, as of year 2020, there are 15 million different species living on our planet Earth, but only 2 million of them are currently known. Scientists are yet to identify and classify this unknown species. But how can one identify and classify living organisms? Let's have first a review on the basic taxonomic concepts. Your task is to identify the word by filling in the spaces with letters. Write your answer on the separate paper. Are you now ready? Let's get started! Number 1. It is a method of grouping organisms. Correct answer is classification. Did you get it right? Let's continue. Number 2. It is a system of organizing groups into ranks. Correct answer must be hierarchy. Very good. Number 3. It is the formal naming of taxa according to standardized system. Correct answer is nomenclature. Oh yes, you're right. Next number. Number 4. It is a process of associating an unknown taxon with a known one. Your answer must be identification. So easy. Next number. Number 5. This is the assignment of features or attributes to a taxon. Correct answer is description. Very good, my learners. You did great in remembering your science lessons. Taxonomy is a major part of systematics that includes description, identification, nomenclature, and classification. The first person to group and classify organisms was the Greek teacher and philosopher Aristotle. He classified organisms into plants and animals and subdivided them into their habitat such as land, sea, and air dwellers. But there were concerns existed such as, first, he grouped organisms into 2 taxa, plants and animals, where not all organisms belong to the groupings, like the bacteria, a plant or an animal. How about the mushroom, a plant or an animal? Second, there were too many organisms that did not fit to the classification. For example, the frogs are born in water and have gills like fish, but when they grow up, they have lungs and can live on land. So how could Aristotle classify frogs? Third, he placed organisms that all fly in the same category, which made them related to each other. Example, the bees, birds, and bats. They were grouped together, even though they have a little in common, except they can all fly. But what about the penguin? Penguin is a bird that cannot fly. Lastly, organisms' common names are misleading, like a jellyfish is not a fish, but a seahorse is a fish. Furthermore, sea cucumber sounds like a plant, but actually it's an animal. Because of that, Aristotle's classification was rejected, for it is inadequate and the results of the classification do not resemble with each other. Any solutions? Some early botanists like John Ray devised organisms' names using long descriptions in Latin. However, it turns out that names are too hard and too long to remember. Moreover, names don't show relationships between different animals or plants. until such time in the 17th century, a Swedish naturalist came to the rescue in the name of Carolus Linnaeus. He developed a way to name and organize species through its similar characteristics, physically and structurally, and he was considered as the father of taxonomy. During his lifetime, Linnaeus collected 40,000 specimens of plants, animals, and shells. He believed that it was important to have a standard way of grouping and naming species. So, in 1735, he published his first edition of Systema Naturae, or the System of Nature, which was a small pamphlet explaining his new system of the classification of nature. His two most important contributions to taxonomy were a hierarchical classification system and the system of binomial nomenclature. Wow! Thanks to this man! Linnaean classification system. In Systema Naturae, Linnaeus classified nature into a hierarchy. He proposed that there were three broad groups called kingdom. These kingdoms were animals, plants, and minerals. He divided each of these kingdoms into classes. Classes were divided into orders, and orders into family. These were further divided into genera. Genus is singular, and then species. Each level of classification is called a taxon, or in plural form, it's taxa. As time passed, there were additional levels added to the hierarchy. The broadest level of life is now domain. All living things fit